Welcome back and tell yourself what's good today. Who doesn't like a pair of coasters? And I found the best ones. The Hoka Clifton Nueve. Before we start nerding out on shoes, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can accompany me from the very beginning. Let's see how far we can go together. I've been working on my most personal script these days, and it's based on a lot of events that happened early in my life. So I've been doing a lot of running to digest some of those scenes and sometimes just to escape some of them. Being able to do long runs is becoming more and more important to me because it takes me to a place where I can face those thoughts I've been avoiding, and it also helps me find answers to a whole range of things. Thank God for these Cliftons. In fact, I've done my longest run ever in these shoes, 9 miles. Woohoo! I have to let that kind of sink in because just a year ago, I could barely run a mile. Now there are shoes that make you feel like hustling and others just kind of plod along, but with these, you can coast for miles and miles. It all comes down to my new favorite phrase, early stage meta rocker. Most of you already know what that means, and there are a lot of shoes out there that have this similar rocker geometry, but I don't think they've done it quite as well as Hoka have. And you can really tell the difference once you step into these shoes. When you're standing there and you lean back slightly, you almost kind of feel like you're tipping over because your heel sinks into the back of the shoe. I wasn't sure what to make of it, but as soon as I got these out on the road, I knew the reasoning behind their design. It makes the turnover in your feet feel effortless, kind of like when you're riding a bicycle. Your feet are moving in circles in a very rhythmic pattern. I've yet to feel that in any of the shoes that I've worn for running. But that feeling does come with a little sadness. Why? Because I know it'll never feel as special as that first time. Isn't that the case with everything good in life though? But that's okay. Better to have worn and lost than not worn at all. Here are the numbers. It's not a huge stack height, but still very comfortable. And they fit true to size. They are a little snug in the toe box like many people have said, and I have narrow feet. In fact, my mom used to say that I have feet like knife blades. If you're unsure, make sure to shop at a place that offers free returns. I found the engineered upper to be very breathable. I didn't really feel like they were getting hot, but I did get thinner socks, and I've been running by the beach these days, and it's always about 10 degrees cooler than in the heart of LA. Everything on the shoe looks really well made and of quality materials, but the highlight is the step-in feel. It's amazing. Here's what struck me. Have you ever gotten a massage and they get out this one spot that you didn't really know was important or that even existed, and you're like, wow, I didn't know it could feel that nice? Well, this shoe has that. As you can see in the collar of the shoe, it is well padded, but there's this one spot right here. It's like the perfect amount of cushion and it hits just below the ankle on your foot. And as soon as you put your foot in there, it's like, ah! It not only makes it feel snug, but it feels like your foot is really being taken care of. I think every shoe ever made should figure this one little piece out. And what about this color? You know, one of the benefits of waiting to get these shoes was that this colorway was only recently released. I think it's cool, very much in tune with spring. It looks lively and energetic. I think in general, Hoka does a really good job of designing their different colorways. The rest of the shoe is very comfortable too. The tongue is very soft and padded, and it's gusseted on the inside, on the medial side, so it kind of gives a little bit of extra support to your arch. It keeps the tongue in place too, and I had no issues with it moving around. And the shoelaces as well, I didn't really feel them at all, but then again, I don't tie my shoes too tight. Now, I know Hoka gets a lot of complaints because their foam technology is kind of old school because it's EVA based, except for their newest race shoe, which I can't wait to try. But I'm gonna be honest, I think I prefer this over something squishier and more responsive. Just to compare, I've run in the New Balance Morbi 4s, and they're sort of like the standard of max cushion these days. They're both neutral shoes, but I found that because the foam was so soft, it was actually hurting my ankles. It's like when you're trying to load up a really tight spring, it's difficult to compress. You have to land on it exactly right so that the pressure doesn't wiggle around off to the sides. But because the EVA foam is a little less responsive, it feels more stable for me. It feels more even when my foot comes down and when it's pushing off. So after my long runs, my ankles aren't sore from trying to stabilize my weight with every step. Maybe I just have weak ankles, and my feelings will change once they get stronger. But for now, I think I prefer this foam. The outsole is decent enough. I do have some wear and tear around the edges of the heel after 50 miles, so I'm curious how they're going to hold up after a few hundred miles. I haven't had any issues with the grip, but it has stopped raining here in LA. The only thing I have to worry about are sandy patches. Overall, I really enjoyed my runs in these Clifton 9s, like a lot. I think anyone who wants max comfort, and possibly those who are just starting to run a lot, will really enjoy these. That's my writer's view of the Clifton 9s, and comment down below if you also like to work out life problems on your long runs. Maybe we should start calling them something like meta runs. Never mind, sounds like a bad case of diarrhea.